Good afternoon. It is afternoon. It's 12:30. I've just spent the morning in the workshop welding a mechanical thumb to a little DX10 micro digger. Yeah, there's something to be said for welders. I don't know whether it was how the welder was set up. I don't do enough welding to be good at it. And yeah, you're either good with a welder or an artist with a grinder, and I am an artist with the grinder, that's for sure. Weather is soaking wet today, so it's good to be back. I'm heading to a DX140 LCR with an EGR cooler blockage, so yeah, we'll go and whip that out. I'll get it back to the yard this afternoon, give it a good wash out, and leave it overnight, and hopefully it will be good to go and refit it tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is the plan. So yeah, got a few plates spinning at the moment. Evidently having 2 days off, you get a decent backlog of work to do. So yeah, all go. I'll see you when I get to this 14 tonner. Right, it's pretty miserable here. I'll do you a quick update. What I'm after is down in here. Right down in here. I need to take off and hopefully clean out this bit here. So this is the EGR cooler. So the machine will recycle some of its exhaust gas. So what it'll do is the EGR valve over there will allow so much exhaust gas to recirculate back through into the inlet manifold. But of course the exhaust gas is hot, so it wants to cool it. So we've got 2 coolant pipes here and here that'll need to be removed. I need to take this turbo off. I've got 1, 2, 3 nuts moving. So that's a good start. I can't get at this one until I've got this intercooler pipe off, so I've got this clamp loosened. I need to get in and do that back clamp there. So yeah, just sitting in my little cubby hole while it gets rather wet over there and on me. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. I'll put my phone away just now because I don't want it to get too wet, but I'll keep you updated. Well, the weather hasn't improved. I wonder when I get back with this EGR cooler tomorrow. I wonder if this will all be a lake. Anyway, I've got my big white hat on, just in case. You never know. Hard hat sight. There might be something fall from the sky, like. You never know. Yeah. So this is the EGR cooler. The exhaust gas is going this way and out that way. And this is the outlet side. If I grab my torch, if I try and hold that there and get the camera positioned in there, we're going to be able to see. It's choked anyway, so it is. What I'm hoping to do, I'll be able to. Now somebody told me, now it's the first time I've had an EGR cooler off one of these 14 tonners with the Perkins engine. But I was talking to a lad up the road at HQ and he's done a couple, but it's not like a common fault, I don't think. Anyway, what he said, he cleaned one of his out with a oven cleaner. So on the way back I might call in at somewhere like B&M Bargains, get some oven cleaner put in there. Yeah, it'll need something for. I mean, I've got EGR cleaner, but it's in an aerosol, and it'll only penetrate, the first couple of inches of that. Could do with soaking it overnight in something. Petrol maybe. Don't know if petrol's a good or a bad thing to put in it. But I'll have a bit Google and see. So I will. Yeah, right. I need to make that digger sort of weatherproof and safe, because currently the turbo is sat up on the bonnet gathering a load of water. So I'll get everything chucked in the cab, get my wet gear off, and get back to the workshop. So I think it's about 3 o'clock. While I've been working on that, my phone's been ringing away there, so that's been mithering us like. It's not nice when the phone's ringing and it's you're wondering who it is, but at the same time you have to just get on with this and get it done. So yeah, I'll take you up here, look, and we'll have a look. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, that's it all stripped out. The turbo return pipe, that was a bit like hard work to get at. I'd imagine to put it back on I might need to remove the starter motor there. Got the starter motor and the air conditioning compressor look really handy to get at now. It's a shame there's no cause to replace them while I'm down this far. Yeah, it's not been bad. Everything's kind of come away with a 10mm socket, and this little quarter drive ratchet has done us proud. Like the exhaust side, those bolts, especially going into there, they were really tight. I've got a multi-hex 10mm, but it was just wanting to start skipping, and I thought the last thing I need is a couple of bolts rounded off into there. So this one was to hand. Instead of getting off my backside and going to my toolbox, I just put a bit of extra force on this, and it went right. We'll get squared up and get out of this weather. Look. Whew. Friday morning. Hello. I have got myself some Oven Pride on the way home from work last night, and I've filled my EGR cooler with it. I've just topped it up again, just while I'm finishing a job over there on that DX10. I'll let it soak a bit more before I get it washed out, but hey, it's marvellous stuff. Like, you just pour it in, it bubbles away, and that black stuff there, I'm not going to touch it because it reckons it's pretty savage stuff. Like, yeah, it seems to be doing its thing. Like, so we'll wash it out later and see what happens. Right, we're 10 to 11 now. I've built my EGR cooler back up. It's all washed out, and do you know what? It's remarkable how much lighter it is. And what I discovered was, having that oven cleaner in there, I could actually remove the bung just about, and it was just dribbling out and no more. So I've had it through the hot wash, and then I've run it under a hot tap as well. So yeah, that's all nice and clean. I can just about see daylight through it again. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing. While I've been kind of doing bits and pieces on that, I've also been doing bits and pieces on the DX10 in the workshop. Funny old job, isn't it? Like, yesterday I was welding, and then today I'm prepping for paint and spray painting, and I'm going to go and fit that bit back on the digger. You just do all sorts, don't you? You're an auto electrician, hydraulics, spray painter. Definitely not a welder anyway. I am definitely not a welder. But anyway, it's marvellous what a 4.5 inch grinder can hide. Right, I'll yeah, what did I say it was? Yeah, about 11 o'clock, so go and get that EGR cooler on. Right, finally we've made it. Bit of a performance getting here, because basically they're on with opening up the road end, cause it's just off a busy main road, and there was concrete wagon blocking the site entrance. So I went round the back lanes to the other side of the site where I thought I could get by, but they've properly blocked it off. So bit of a performance. Got back round to where the concrete mixer was, and it was still sat there, so I sat for 15 minutes or so waiting to get up onto the site. Anyway, new EGR cooler, all washed out. So it's not new, sorry, it's just washed out. We'll go and get it back on this digger, and it's just starting to rain now, look. Marvellous. Anyway, I'm all suited and booted again. Get my big white hat on and get this digger up and running. The phone, honestly, this last 24 hours, the phone has been absolutely ringing off the rocker. I've got a shovel to go and see after this for grumbling noises in the front axle, and then I've got next week a lot to do next week. There's an awful lot to do next week, so it's busy. Get this job done and knocked off the list of jobs to do. Right, so when I'm remounting something like this, obviously there's various steel pipes that need to be reattached. This one here is not so bad, it's flexy. Same with this coolant pipe here. But for pipe like this, which has got no flex in it, what I do is I leave the mounting bolts just finger tight, so that gives me movement to get everything sort of running finger tight, and then I can tighten everything down once everything's in. Just gives you a bit more of a chance to hopefully locate the holes and have everything seated nicely before you nip everything down nice and tight. So yeah, that's one of my top tips for doing a job like this. But yeah, that's the cooler on. I've got the exhaust outlet pipe attached. I'm going to put this coolant pipe on and then put this exhaust pipe on and finish on that coolant pipe, because I have a feeling when this pipe's on, it's really bad to get that last bolt there to tighten it down. So if I get this lot done first, then should go well after that. The only thing that I'm not looking forward to is getting the turbo oil drain pipe back in down there nice and square, because once everything's kind of built up, you can't really see what you're doing down there. The starter motor might be in the way, so it's one thing I find taking stuff apart, it's another thing sort of putting stuff back together. So we'll just take our time and yeah, see how we go. That's everything tightened down now. It went together quite nicely, all the pipes are on and everything's nipped up. So my next job is to fit this turbo. I've actually got this little bit of pipe here that I need to thread back into position without bending it, because once you put a wrong bend in it, it's a nightmare to try and do. So try and thread this back in. Right, we're nearly there then. Everything's going back together really nicely. I'm a bit suspicious. Just got 2 nuts to go on the back of here, run these ones up. 2 pipes, 2 Jubilee clips. Job's a good one. Happy days. Right, final update then before we put bodywork on. Everything's all buttoned up. I'm just going to go and start it now and check for any, most importantly, engine oil leaks. So yeah, I'm just going to have it running for a bit, and if everything's alright, we'll put all these covers back on, which will be a task in itself. But yeah, that's the worst of it over. Right, there we go. Job's finished. Everything back together, no leaks. Coolant level is level and correct. So yeah, what for the last you see of this machine. Next week he's wanting us to come back and service it next week. So yeah, never mind. Yeah, a lot to do next week though. I'll pack up now and I'll run along to the next job, which is a 350 with a rumbling noise. So yeah, it could be something as simple as a drive shaft, it could be diffs, it could be brakes, it could be outlake. The report is that when it's okay running in a straight line, but when they turn there's a grindy rumbly noise. Like I say, I've had the centre drive shaft bearings fail just before it actually falls off and smashes everything in its path. That had a similar fault or sounding fault where it was rumbly while it was turning. Hopefully it's something nice and simple like that, because yeah, to be fair, it'll be a recovery job and up to HQ for the axles to be rebuilt if that is the case. It's done 10,000 hours, so yeah, it's done a good shift, and it's never had the brakes out of it or the diff out of it, so we'll see. We'll have to see. But what footage of that I'll get, I'm not sure yet. We'll play it by ear. Yeah, that was a close one. I keep my machine keys on my van keys, because then the idea is that I don't drive off from a machine and leave my bunch of keys in it. But of course, it's got one of those keyless fob things on this van, and I've had the van running while I've been working on the machine, charging up my drill batteries and stuff like that. And you know, I just about set off and thought, where's the keys? That would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? Getting to the next job, switching the van off, and then not being able to start it again. Anyway, right. Hopefully I'll get out this road end and the cement mixer isn't in my way, because I can tell that I'm pouring. So, right, I'll see you at the next one. Right, it is 5:10. I'm just leaving the yard now. I nipped into that loading shovel. I think, well, I'm pretty confident it is now the axle oil, in actual fact. So the shovel had the axle oil changed at around 9,000 hours, and it's the shovel that I serviced not too long ago. But of course the axle oil wasn't on the schedule to change because it was a 1,000-hour service that I did. So it's just done over 1,000 hours on the axle oil that I changed at 9,000 hours. And when I look at the service history for that, it was axle oil that we no longer use because of that reason. It doesn't last the 1,500-hour service interval. So on Monday afternoon, once I've finished PDI in this digger that I've been pottering on with, I'll go and drop the axle oil out of it, put some fresh stuff in it, and with a bit of luck, job will be right. So I'll leave it at that for today. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and yeah, have a good weekend everyone. We'll see you on Monday, nice and fresh.